So the traveling alchemist and psychic Tarhuti has a problem. Her beauty elixir is stolen. She thinks that the culprit was this so-called aura thief, that the potion is located somewhere in the Clearwater Cave now. She asks for my help.
Greetings.
Walk blessed. Question is, how difficult is this mission? It doesn't say. Interesting. So side missions... oh no. No, they do have a difficulty rating compared to your level.
I hope.
You're not from here, are you? I heard you talk. Your accent is so funny.
Your accent is funny too. You can't fool me,
May
child.
your path always be even.
Why is the leather shield on the floor?
Well, there comes a point.
When you just have to live with it. I know, I know. Okay, if we check out our map. Suppose the Myriad Tower of the Sun Coast be a good point to walk towards. But maybe not. How does one get to this cave? I guess it would be this way. More than likely. Rather than trying to go across the river and then get to it.
Watch yourself. The streets aren't safe this time of the day. Watch yourself.
What the hell are you talking about?
Safe this time of the day.
Are you just saying in general they aren't safe now, or are you just saying like right now at this point in time it's just not good? That was weird. Anyway, this looks like the path we're meant to take. To get to this crystal cave abandoned mine thing, which most likely has trolls in it. Lord Pyre has proven that he should be okay to take on trolls. Especially with the help of Kim. Where are you bastards? Oh, it's probably you, but Howard, wasn't it? Need to get something else other than a ghostly wolf, huh? Yeah, I'm getting distracted, I know, but that's how I roll. Get distracted by nooks and crannies that look interesting. I need to explore them to find goodies. I should have probably killed that rabbit, actually. Of course, I needed it for his meat. I need to kill him for his meat so I could create some cool things. Alright, that sounded like other wolves. I can hear them, but I can't see them. Actually, I see a cave thing there. Is Kim still around? Kim's still around, good. Frickin' river crabs. Whoa, that's a bear. And we're fighting river crabs. And Lord Pyre is just destroying that poor crab. I think I might have to turn off that kill cam thing, because that's a bit too ridiculous at times. Righto. Anything else that wants to jump out at me and say boo? Oh, campfire. Usually means bandits, but... oh, venison, some antlers and pelts. Seergut. Corpse. Divine shield. Ah, increases armor rating by 80 for 240 seconds. That's what I want. The other thing was just not what I wanted. You know, you're a brittle bow and all that, but that's okay. We'll still take ya and sell ya. Spell tome. Actually, yeah, it says 240 seconds. So one would assume that that's correct. Let's have a look. Yeah, the Oak and Divine Shield was the one, and then Boon was healing. Where's the other one that I had? Holy crap. Huh. 45 sneak, 45 stamina, 45 sonics. Crap, I forgot a lot of things. Let's think of the wise one. Ah, increase your fighting skills, primary skills. Okay, archery. Wow, knowledge is pretty decent then, huh? That's its spell ward. Increase armor. Yeah. Not for me. I think Start the Mage Light I might unequip actually, and equip this Divine Shield instead. Now I think about it, I should probably eat something so I can restore some health. 300 seconds, 140 seconds. And Tempest is what I have. Did I mess up? I may have messed up. Oops. Oh no, it's on me. I just don't see it in the top left corner. But it's definitely there. Oh, there we go. Divine Shield. 3 minutes. Wow, that's pretty good. That's why it's not showing.
Like the bite of a flea.
Like the bite of a flea, he said. Need to eat some mana shrooms. How's that give me? Resist poison, okay. What is it called? Mana something, wasn't it? Might be under here actually. Well, we found a mana potion which we stole, so... Oh, I thought you had a friend. Encyclopedia Arcana, Magic Part 3. I'll read you in a second, my friend. You look interesting. Okay. That's not very long at all. We can read that. Subjugment of magic. Considering how gruesome the aftermath of the arcane fever is, there would be no sane mages remaining if one were left helpless when facing it. As it is, different options exist in order to safely obtain magical talents. Whereas they differ in nature and execution, they all have the same goal: to only glance at the sea of eventualities when desired. The most common and safest ritual practiced by the civilized world is composed of control through meditation and reflection. Here, in Enderal, this ritual is known as the Walk to Water, and everybody talented in magic is required to successfully complete it at the Holy Order, regardless of the status and means. The Walk to Water lasts for 1 year and contains elucidation about the functionality of magic, as well as daily, hour-long meditation and prayer. At the same time, phases of controlled abstinence improve the awareness of both mind and body. At the end of the year, the acolytes of magic have to prove that they are able to handle their aptitude afterwards. They are free to go back and to return to their former lives. Other rituals for subjugment are known, but students of magic are strongly advised to not engage in them. These rituals contain tropical magic and are an immediate danger to the ritualist as well as the treated. Development. How magical talents develops after it is subdued varies from person to person. As explained before, glancing into the sea of eventualities can be diversely developed. Some talented in magic may never, regardless of their dedicated school, grow beyond simple and petty acts of swindling using magical tricks. Meanwhile, another may become a respected arcanist in only a few years with the right guidance. The form of magic can only take varying shapes as well. Some may develop an extraordinary focus and astuteness, while others learn to control the power of the elements. To become successful, strict instruction is required in meditation, virtue, and although its aspect is often neglected, knowledge of oneself. History of Vin is replete with tales of arcanists who, out of suppressed unconscious need, allowed eventualities to enter our world and thus brought tragical destruction upon themselves and others. It wasn't exactly the book I was thinking it was going to be, but it's still pretty cool. Okay, now, gotta get to that cave. Getting so distracted, yo! But that's okay. That's how we roll. And this world is just so freaking beautiful as well. Like, Jesus. Sehr good. Actually, did I pass the cave? Might be beyond this waterfall. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Maybe it's up there on that area. I'll swing by. Mana fungi. I picked you up, so where the heck do you live? Mana salt, mana moth, mud. It's not there. It's probably a food item, one would assume then. Yeah, it'd have to be. There you go, mana fungi. 480 seconds, mana regeneration by 25. Really? Mana increases mana regeneration by 25 for 480 seconds. Damn. Resist frost. Decreases stamina regeneration, increases mana regeneration. Righto. Gotta reapply my armor. Gotta resummon Kim as well, actually. I see some doges. Weird. Hungry wolf. Oh, he died quickly. I was expecting to be a bit more of a challenge, but I suppose that's how it rolls. What's this place? This is new and interesting. Riverville's honey farm discovered. Oh. Okay. Anything else we're trying to kill? Stag, okay. Oh, it's been infected somehow. Like Kim was. Or Kim just hates stags. That's another possibility. Maybe getting that mana regen necklace back would be not such a bad idea. Hello. do we have here? A bee in a jar. Increases stamina. Increases mana. Huh. That doesn't sound too bad. It probably weighs a lot, because I didn't check it. Energize water from Enderal. Regenerates mana for 4. Well, I might as well drink some of this stuff. I've got enough of it. Beehive. Sehr gut. Moon carrot pulp. Riverville's mead. Dragonfly beehive husk. God damn. Wow, Riverville's mead, huh? Increases stamina by 15 points. Increases mana regen by 20 for 240. Shit. Oops. This is a good find. A very good find indeed. Oh. Almost didn't see that. And now it's getting dark. Bee in the barb. It's abandoned. Uh-oh. Hi! Kim? That's the wrong button. Oh god. I don't know how I didn't die. Ah, man alive, okay. This is new and interesting and sidetracky, but we're gonna go with it. Where's that Riverville stuff? Should be under the R section. No? Is it not a wine? Oh, there we go, Riverville's mead. Yeah, it weighs a fair bit, so it's worthwhile to get it. Ready to move out now. I've got things. Printers, eh? Oh, it's good that wasn't locked. Not much there, but come on, Kim. Did I step on? can see it. It's up there. Gotcha. Love pie strikes again. Spider 0, love pie 1. And it's empty. But there's blueprint for a leather helmet, hunting bow, iron axe of arcane wrath, okay. Cheap mana potion. Let's have a look at what this thing is, the arcane wrath. Deals 5 points of sock damage to mana, to health, and half as much as to mana. You know what? Because you're a good axe with a fair bit of damage behind you, you're worthwhile using. Oh, ice pack, thank you. I'll take that. Cool. Bear pelt. Records the Wayward Wanderer. I think I wanted to buy this and read it actually, so... Well, I suppose I can read it now. It records the Wayward Wanderer. You, the reader of these lines, relentless adventurer, who has found my hideout and is holding this book right now, are to be congratulated. These are the records of the Pathless One. Not any Pathless One, no. This is the writing of the true luminary, the Wayward Wanderer. He who is, without a doubt, extolled all over Enderal, even after his death in the Song of the Wayward Wanderer. The followers of Malphus have done their utmost to spread this sordid song throughout the land. There is no bard who does not count it as part of his repertoire, no commoner who has not sung it once in his lifetime, at work or in his way to the market. Why should it be any different now that you have wrenched it from my decaying remains? Songs that people do not know to whom or to what they relate persist the longest. Or do you know the name of the bard who has written down this tune? I met him in person. He wrote down his notes based on my tales, which he then proceeded to rework into his caricature, which you get to hear in the local tavern. Whether you want to or not, a young lad he was, ambitious and curious. He visited me in my hut in the Undercity, searching for gripping stories. As he told me, he had just returned from his journey to Nehrim. The bards there were mute, he said, and they would only play their lutes in the streets. If people wanted to listen to chanting, they had to wait until groups of musicians came from distant lands to perform in the theatre of Earthen. As he noticed the empty satchels of his colleagues there, he witnessed one of Enderal's principles regarding bards. That people not only wanted to hear music, but also stories. And he was a great listener. Before I realized it, I told him my whole life story, and the paper was filled with his scribblings. How could I have known then that it would result in such a sorry affair? Yet it should not be surprising. Too tempting are the riches promised to those who serve Malphus's cult. And so he did not compose an authentic ballad in the venerable manner of bards and honor, but rather wrote one that ensured him the favor of the third might, the paladins. His name remained unknown, yet his satchel was full of the rest of his life. And me? I received alms from the storyteller, but became a real celebrity in my lifetime. My notoriety made the citizens shrink back. I was a bad example, who was shown to children to keep them on the right path. The gossip about who was foolish enough to bear his heart of the travelling bard passed throughout the Undercity, and it was there that the legend about the one who disdained the path which had been chosen for him originated. Every resident of the Cursed Quarter could have been Wayward Wanderer, Yet still was everyone willing to point up my hut for a good payment from tourists. The paladins were suspicious about my infamy at first, for they were glad that they had the Song of the Wayward Wanderer, an easy-to-grasp, anonymous, and universal tool which entertained and intimidated people at the same time. The words of the lyrics were so vague, the transgressions and woes so mundane that anyone who could see themselves in them. It turned out, however, that simply my existence was a welcomed addition to the ubiquity of the song, even though no one knew any more about the Wayward Wanderer than before. After having seen my humble abode in the Undercity, people felt admonished and insecure about the warning of my ballad. Thus, by visiting me, they could reassure themselves that if it was indeed someone else's fate. To them, I became a living memory, to not become, like me, and to always follow the path which was determined by birth. They came in the multitudes from everywhere, just to take a gander at me, who made them shudder blissfully with my failed existence, safe in the knowledge that by unquestionably following Malthus's tenets, they were doing the right thing. Aristocratic ladies had their servants lay down cloths in the dusty roads, that no dirt might touch my shoes. They are genuine Boddenbergs from Nehrim. They scolded as they pressed their wrinkled noses against my windows to study with their own eyes and squalor that the most pathless of pathless ones had to endure. The children's games were not any less cruel. One could hear from them from the whole day. Who stays in the void? Who stays in the void? The wayward wanderer! The wayward wanderer! This they chanted while they pocketed one from their midst, whom they had blindfolded with sticks. After a while, another child, who was wearing a headdress braided of twigs, removed the pathless one's blindfold and said with the utmost magnanimity, "Come back into Malthus's path." The previously teased child was rewarded with the crown of twigs and the role of the paladin for the next round. They steadily approached my hut while playing this game. They wanted to prove their courage to each other by doing so. Once I got carried away and scared them away with an evil glance. They ran away screaming and giggling, only to return after a while to begin their game anew. For a while I enjoyed this condition. After all, I only had this place, this miserable hut amidst the dirt of the Undercity. It became my refuge after countless long journeys. No other place remained to me, for no society wanted to include someone who lived for so many years off of the path. What was intended for him? What drove me on those journeys, those wanderings? Was it a dream I was searching for in the sunset? Ridiculous. Mere tripe from the mind of the baldmonger to make a line for his song sound like something they might call poetry. I had not searched for any dream, but for answers to all the questions which this world poses, and that cannot be answered by the monotone, humbled principles of Malthus, memorized by all citizens of Enderal. I have not found even a single answer, but I have found love, one of the few things the song was right about. The love of the woman was so great that she was willing to share with me my miserable life in the Undercity, but it was doomed to fail. Only sorrow and anguish remained, and something the song forgot to mention: death. Yes, I left her. I wandered away, to spare her from the rogues and the cutthroats of the Undercity who lusted for wealth they assumed she might possess. I left her so that she might return to the bosom of her family, back to the sheltered life she had been leading before she absconded with me. Oh yes, you do not know, this is something that the song has left out. She was the daughter of the rich, reputable Prince Delboris, the beautiful Juliana. She brought disgrace to her family when she disappeared with the pathless one to trade her life in luxury, which she had been savouring before. For a harsh life in the Undercity, I went away. Left a message to let her know that I had ventured out to a faraway place and had no intention of returning. Wrote something of a different woman in a distant land. I wrote down everything to keep her away from this place, where a life with me could only lead to misfortune, and she came back. Only shortly after my shameful disappearance did I return secretly to the city to see if my plan to keep Juliana away from the misfortune of living with me would lead to what was working out. To see if she had found her way back to a life which offered her response and security, a life which allowed her to raise her kids one day in the environment which might be dishonest and decadent, but was not doomed to misery and death as was the one I could offer her in the Undercity. But I had not foreseen the depravity of the mighty. In the shrubbery of the palace garden beneath her chamber, where I was hiding, I could hear the wailing of Juliana's mother. Princess, her husband, tried to soothe her with calming words. She talked of the curse of a life in the Undercity of the scum of Juliana had decided to invite into her life. She had been murdered surreptitiously in the night in her own room inside the palace. I perceived everything else like a nightmare that crept into her days. I knew where I was heading. I knew all the corners and hideouts, the secret meeting points of the Undercity, and indeed, a couple of hours later, I had found the prince, hooded with a cloak, escorted by 2 heavily armed guards, and he found some poor fool for this scheme. He was certain to receive his dirty payment for the assassination. He was impaled with a sword instead, another dead man they would find in the gutter at sunrise, and the family Dalboris was freed from everything that could have damaged their reputation. The family's bloodline and every branch of their pedigree would still be carried on by them whose lives occurred without a stigma on Malphas's path. Why not? Why was Juliana spared when she was still living in the Undercity with me? How could one order the death of his own flesh and blood? You, the reader of the writings, you are the hopeful, or hopefully less gullible than I was back then. Only after a while did I recognize the prince's logic. As a pathless castaway, Juliana was not a member of the family any longer. Nobody had to justify himself to kill her. Like all of those who had to live in the Undercity, she did not exist anymore. No book would have ever mentioned her again. She would have disappeared from the family's annuals as one of the many early deceased children in the margins. Only when she returned remorsefully to Malphas's path with a bowed head did she become a menace to the family of the prince. For centuries there had been great paragons, but only those faithful to Malphas came from this house. This tradition was to be preserved by Dalboris at any cost. The remorseful who returned to their path after straying once were the favourites of the order. With their shame and infamy, these petty ones were the easiest to control. Not for anything in the world did the prince want this weakness in his gallant house. He wanted to be able to look the order in the eye. It was all the same to me when my hopes to see the woman I loved from a distance were shattered. I returned to my empty hut in the Undercity, and let life pass me by. I have not had any more questions of the world, yet the least of the wretchedness happening all around me could not unsettle me. I was waiting for the years to pass and the death to draw its circles ever closer around my home. Prince Dalboris did not do me the favour of sending an assassin to take my life as well. I was too irrelevant, too benign to the great house, now freed from the infamy in their midst. Not even the princess, who had truly been mourning for her daughter, and who did not suspect who really was responsible for Juliana's death, would have believed me even if I had managed to approach her. I was but a pathless one. And then came the bard. Damn it, how could I have known that this fellow would be able to get me talking like that? But this is when tranquility ceased. Gawkers, children, racket. First I considered yelling everything I knew, hoping that I might yet be struck down by the Baron's henchmen. But I did not want to die in this place. I travelled for one last time, long and far, to find this cave, a place far away from everything I did not want to see or hear. And one more thing, never have I had regrets for not following Malphas's path, and never have I advised anyone to stay on Malphas's path, for I was never asked anyway. Nobody ever wanted to hear my advice. You, the reader of these lines, are you a disciple of Malphas? Then throw this paper into the next fireplace. Delight yourself at the sight of these lines burning in the flames, which you believe to be the fire of truth. But if perhaps you are a free spirit, someone whose thoughts do not wander on those precedented narrow paths, then take these writings with you. Maybe you will be able to achieve more than I could with this story of my life. Find others who might want to read this, and who are ready to learn from it. How putrid the threads of the mighty are, which are spread across this land. What a read! Holy cow! A good read, but that was very long.